surprised yet. You can ask him. Would you like to be in my video? You want to stand up on the chair?
No. Mama.
So I recently had my brows microbladed, which means they etch your hair each strand at a time onto your eyes.
Mama,
yes.
Can you give my dad a call?
Yeah, I can call him after my video. And last time when I had my brows shaped, I went to this threading place, and they threaded around my eyes. And then I asked her, hey, what is this brow tinting I saw as one of your services that are listed? And she said, oh, brow tinting is I'll apply like a tint. It's lighter than hair dye tint, and then when I put it on your eyebrows will be dark and defined. And I was like, oh, that sounds cool. How much longer does it take? She goes, oh, like 10 minutes or something. So she puts on this gel stuff, which is like, I guess, hair dye. And then I felt kind of like this burning sensation on my skin. I'm like, oh, it's part of the hair dyeing process. So I go home, going about my merry way. The brows look amazing because they're dark and full and filled in. And then over the next few days, they started getting really, really itchy and inflamed. And it's like I was having an allergic reaction. It was similar to like poison ivy. And so I was like, oh, your body rejected the brows. And I was thinking about eyebrows and what they represent to me. And to me, eyebrows represent your life. Like when you have full, filled in, long, beautiful eyebrows, it means your life is full and rich and balanced. And when they are sparse and they are crooked or uneven, then it's an analogy to like some hiccups in your home life, your family, your business, all sorts of stuff. There's just something about eyebrows being a really good reflection of your life. To me, it's like an analogy. And so I recently went to go get my eyebrows microbladed, which means that they take this tip like a calligraphy pen. It's like a very, very sharp end. It's filled with ink, tattoo ink pretty much. And she draws in your hair, one hair at a time. And she put some numbing agent on my brows. And then I'm laying there and I hear the and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, when is this going to end? It sounds horrible, you know? And I'm like, it's almost done, it's almost done, it's almost done. And then she moves on to the other eyebrow. I'm like, it's almost done, it's almost done, you know? And then she takes out her tattoo gun and she starts like doing something. And then she has me sit up so that gravity can pull my face down. And then she does more adjustments. And I was like, and then this morning as I went to work, like I started feeling like this bump right here, which is like an irritation. And I was like, oh no. My body is rejecting the microblading process, is rejecting the pigment, is rejecting the process. That means I'm not going to have a full and rich, balanced life. That means that my body is resisting the change, is resisting my commitment to have a full, rich, balanced life. And,
oh, Mama!
Yes?
You can take these out.
Oh, cool. And I was thinking, okay, so what happens if your body rejects the microblading process? What happens if your body doesn't take the pigment?
Mama, you can take these out.
Cool, then take them out. You're not supposed to take them out, you just open them. You don't take them out. You open them.
How do we open them?
So you're looking at this learning book. You open them. See this little hole right here? See? See these holes? Don't tear them, you only open them. So you open them like this, and then they give you the answer. Get it?
What are these answers?
This is how you learn to multiply.
What is multiply?
Like 1 times, like 3 times 3 is 9. 2 times 5 is 10. 4 times 4 is 14, 16.
I don't know.
You'll learn in 2nd grade. This is 2nd grade level stuff. And, and I was thinking, okay, so you did the work. You showed up and you did the microblading process. And if your body doesn't take it, it doesn't mean that you're not going to have a rich, fulfilling life. It means that the way that you're approaching your life, the method you use to have a rich, fulfilled, balanced life might not be the way that you can process it and take it. So maybe you don't go with the microblading process, you go with the tattooing process. And if the tattooing process doesn't work, then you go with drawing them in manually each day like you've been doing, which is fine too. the thing is, I showed up, I sat in the chair, I sat through the pain or the sound of having my eyebrows etched in, and I also allowed it to heal the next day and to be with the pain as your eyebrows are throbbing a little bit after the process. And you're like, wow, this is kind of raw feeling, right? It kind of hurts. So I put in the work, I paid the money, and I was willing to try this process. And if it works, then great. If it doesn't mean it's the end all be all. It might mean I should try something else. And so I was thinking it was such a good analogy to life. Like we're so attached on the way we think it should go, how it could go, and then it doesn't go. What if it doesn't go according to how we envision it to go? Does that mean that we're screwed, or that was the only way and there's no dead end? No, you look at other options and you try different things, and if it doesn't work, then you try something else. But what is important is your commitment to that dream, your commitment to that goal. And what also is important, that you keep an open mind. Like, I can be really gung-ho on the microblading process, and I can be really gung-ho like on how it should look after the process. And then I can be very disappointed and resigned and sad and disappointed and depressed if it doesn't go according to the way I would like it to go. Or I can be committed that I would have full, even brows, and if they don't happen with the microblading process, it may happen to another process. So it's kind of like you thought that the way you could achieve your goals through plan A, and then you realize, okay, plan A clearly did not work, so I'm going to go with plan B, then I'm going to go with plan C, and so on and so forth, instead of saying, okay, plan A is the only way to go, it doesn't work, then I'm just going to give up, throw in the towel, and then my life is over, and I will never ever have that goal or that thing or that the perfect brows or whatever it is that you think that thing is. So I was like, hey, that's a really good point, right? More important is, are you willing to do the work? Are you willing to do what it takes, as long as it takes, until it takes, because you are committed to getting the result that you are looking to get. The process might not be exactly the way you thought it was going to go, but there is something to be said about divine timing and purpose and things falling into place exactly when they do. And the meaning you choose to give the things that happen in your life, the meaning you choose to give a circumstance, a condition, a result, and then what you walk away from with that. Did you walk away from it from an empowered position? Did you get something out of it? Was that a chance for you, for your soul's expansion and growth? Or was it something that you were going to play into the game of being a victim of? Is that going to be, are you going to become from a position of not being very transformed? Are you going to think, no, that was perfect. It was exactly as it should be. And this is what I got out of it. And that is priceless. So, I hope my little microblading story analogy resonate with other aspects of your life where you are stuck on how you would like something to go, and you have like this commitment that you want it to go so badly to be a certain way, but then also being really detached and very open to the fact that even if it doesn't go exactly the way that you had hoped or imagined or envisioned, that it still would be perfect in the end, because it turned out to be exactly the way it was supposed to happen. There are no accidents. Things don't happen incidentally. There's always a grander purpose, a grander divinity that we might not always understand. Being in a human form, reincarnated in this three-dimensional planet where we just don't have that comprehensive ability to see all and know all, right? That's part of the game of being a human on this planet. So if you are at this point in your life and you're thinking, gosh, I'm not doing my soul's work. I'm not doing what I came here to do. I'm not aligned with my soul purpose, my heart purpose. You sound like you were in the exact position I was last year, where I felt lost and unfulfilled, and there was definitely something missing. I was lacking the direction that I needed, and I certainly was not living up to the life and the meaning and the fulfillment and the purpose and the service that I came here to do and be. And if that is the case, and you're hearing this message, it sounds like you really could use a life coach in your life. And that's what happened to me. And it doesn't, believe it or not, it will just, everything will fall into place, and you will get the signs that the multiverse sends you, and you will know into the very depths of your heart and your soul that you're going to need some guidance and some help and some assistance to get to where it is that you like to be. And that is where the life coach comes in. That's where I come in as your life coach. And if you don't resonate with me, then find someone who does resonate with you. Find someone who you know can guide you to that destination where you'd like to be. For you to tune into that vibrational frequency, for you to tune into that version of you that you know you came here to live into, to tune into, to be, to exude, to exist as. And everything about your life will transform. I had a talk with one of my clients earlier today, and she's just like, it's really not a good time. I'm trying to save money, and I don't think I can afford a life coach right now.
Mama,
And I...
look at this.
Oh, how cool is that?
So you have to guess the number, how much fast they go.
Yes, it's just a timetable. It's a game. I'll show you later how it works. So I had a client, and she was just like, now is not the time. I can't afford a coach right now. Like, I can't afford to have a coach in my life right now. We're saving a lot of money. I have expenses to pay, and, we're looking to buy a house. And I really was so tempted to say, you're right. That's fine. We'll just wait until when you're ready. But I also knew within the deep depths of my soul that you at the same time cannot afford to not have a life coach in your life. Having a life coach in my life is amazing, and it bleeds to all aspects of your life, from the way you see yourself to the way you interact with your family, to how you carry yourself among your coworkers, your friends, the people you care about. Like, this vibe, this energy that you tune into bleeds to all aspects of your life, into your health, into your mental wellness, into everything. The future lineage of descendants that will be reincarnated and born after you, like, it bleeds into all of that. And you can say, I'm too busy, life happens, it's never going to be the right time, I'm never going to have enough money. Or you can say, I think it's about time that I took a look at myself and I invested some time into my life, and I invest some energy into tuning into the version I'd like to be. It's absolutely time. And yes, life will continue on and life will fly by. And yes, there will be times when money is really tight. There will be times when you feel absolutely broke. There will be times when you feel like there's so much going on. You could not possibly add another thing to your plate. But know that you will never be given anything you cannot handle. And know that when, and despite all of that, you still set aside time to invest in yourself. You still set aside time to have a life coach that provides the arena and the space for you to deeply reflect, and for you to really tap into who you truly are and who you're meant to be. Then how do you put a price on that? How do you put a price on transformation? How do you put a price on living a truly, deeply fulfilling, meaningful life? I can't put a price on it. Sure, there's an exchange of energy and money when you hire me to be your life coach, but I can't tell you what's that worth. Only you can tell me what's that's worth to you. And I don't think it's a number that you wouldn't pay. Because I know for a fact that whatever I pay my coach, if she charged more later, I would figure out a way to pay her more for her rates, because it's that important to have that in my life, because I know what kind of person I am when I have a life coach in my life, and what kind of person I'm not when I allow myself to be okay with the status quo, and I allow myself to live a mediocre life, when I allow myself to not be challenged, and I allow myself to become comfortable. It was a very uncomfortable conversation to have with my client, to say, don't forget about yourself. You know, sure, you have bills to pay, and sure, you have mouths to feed, but also remember that there's you. Without a mom, without a healthy mom, none of that will exist for your kids, for your family, for your significant other, none of that. And so how do you put a price on that? And yeah, it was a very uncomfortable conversation. I wanted to squirm and get out of it. I wanted to hang up and not say it, but I took a break and I listened and spoke from my heart and my soul, and I said what there was to say. So if she needed to hear that message, surely there are people out there who need to hear that message too, because I certainly needed to hear that message last year. So here I am sharing that message with you. It's time. If you're hearing this message, you're seeing me, our paths have crossed, there are no accidents. It's time for you to tap into the version you came here to be. It's time for you to tap into you to do what it is you came here to do. And if you don't even have any earthly idea of how that could remotely even be feasible, then that's where a life coach comes in, because she sees you as you truly are. She sees you as who you are truly meant to be, and she will hold the line for you and never allow you to be anything less than who you truly are. Sending you love, light, and profound clarity. Here's to you living a soul elevated life, and I'll see you tomorrow.